Alright. Hey, what's happening, all my Dragonlings? I am your Dragon God of Gaming, Damian Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of the Gaming News, where I run down the list of all the gaming news, facts, rumors, trivias, and everything coming out the gaming industry this week. This week, we have something on the Intellivision Amico, which I wasn't even sure what the heck was going on here. Then we have something on the Epic Games. Not Epic versus Apple, I promise. Then we have another game-breaking record sale, which is going to be dope to talk about. And Elden Ring appears randomly on Steam. Sorry. So, let's get right in. Oh, before we start, as you can see, I have a small little game thing here, which I'm going to be doing. So this is going to be what's going to be played over it. This is Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. So, hope you enjoy. This is a good 25 minutes, so enjoy. Anyway, let's first start off with Intellivision. Intellivision has been one of those game systems that's been around for decades. And now there's something that's supposed to be for the Intellivision Amico. So, I have no idea what this is, and I just recently found this out. So, listen to this. This is coming from Kotaku.com. This is written by Zach Swayzen, and he writes, Intellivision Amico delayed a third time, now out by the end of the year. Okay, and it writes as thusly. The Intellivision Amico has been delayed, again. The console was supposed to launch this October. Now it's been delayed, with the company behind the console promising that folks who pre-ordered it will get the machine by the end of the year. This is the third delay the Amico has experienced. In an email sent out to people who had pre-ordered the console, Intellivision Entertainment explained how disappointed it was that it wasn't able to keep its original schedule. Here's an excerpt from the email. We originally planned to launch Amico in the fall of 2020, but had to adapt during the midst of the global pandemic, disrupting our production. Despite our best efforts and now facing new unprecedented international component supply and logistics challenges beyond our control, we want to apologize as we are forced to push our desired launch date yet again. In spite of these supply hurdles hampering our ability to fulfill all orders, we are focused and determined to deliver pre-ordered units by the end of the year. This will allow us more time to optimize our operating system for future game development. We want to ensure that those who have anticipated the Amico for so long get a chance to enjoy it as soon as possible. Of course, we will keep all of our customers and interested parties informed and updated on our continued progress. If you're asking me, this is not progress. This is backwards progress. This is not progress whatsoever. You're not going forwards. You are going backwards. Anyway, it should be noted that this email was sent out at 12 a.m. on Friday night, almost like they didn't want people to report on it until Monday. First revealed in October 2018, the Amico was a family-friendly console focused on smaller, cheaper games. The newly revived Intellivision Entertainment is led by famous video game composer Tommy Tallarico. The company began taking pre-orders for the system in 2019 with promises of an October 10th, 2020 release. However, it was delayed a few months before the first release date and given a new launch date of April 2021. The date didn't happen, and the console was delayed again until October 2021, a year after it was first planned to release. Now that date is no longer happening either. Instead, Intellivision is only vaguely saying people who pre-ordered will get their system before the end of the year. Probably. Making a video game is hard. Making a video game console is even harder. Creating a brand new video game console during a global pandemic is, well, really, really hard. So it's not shocking to hear that the already delayed Intellivision Amico has been delayed once more. But hopefully, the third time is the charm for folks excited to get their hands on the device. If not, keep your eyes peeled for some late-night emails from Intellivision. Though, based on some leaking specs and other information, I'd suggest waiting to see what this thing actually ends up being before you plopping down $250 on it. So, let's unpack this piece by piece. First off, the game was not back. Bro, why? First off, I can understand, in the midst of this gigantic problem we're having as a freaking world, I can understand very well that making a game console is hard as all hell. I should know. I've studied game design. I know how hard it is to design a game. And these people are making the consoles that these games are developed on. Making a game is difficult. Making a console, they're right, is even harder. But the problem with this being is that this is delayed for the third time. I can understand it being delayed once, or even, I can understand it probably even twice. But but after the third time, I better get the console I've been waiting a year for, or, give me my money back, plus interest for the time I've waited. There you go. And television has been a long-standing company, so I can't really, sit there and, be too aggressive and heavy-handed. And television has been around for decades. And in all honesty, I can understand that the company is just trying to get their footing yet again. But that's difficult to do when literally you're pushing back your console. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? Anyway. Oh yeah, if you're watching the game as well, the gameplay as well, just know that whenever I start a race, I have to come first or I lose. So, yeah. Just letting everyone know before they're wondering why you're restarting the race after you lost. The reason being because I'm going to have to restart the race anyway. Speaking of which. Anyway. Next up. We have Epic Games. Oh my god, Epic Games. What can be said about Epic Games? Well, a lot actually. Personally, they have one of the biggest stores on the internet and also have some of the most controversial titles and news in the gaming industry. So, in all honesty, they're a lot. But this is coming off of PCGamer.com, and this is written by Rich Stanton, and maybe this isn't so bad. Epic has sunk $500 million into the Epic Game Store. Doesn't expect to make a profit until 2027. I could be wrong. Seeing as fit that literally every 2 weeks I'm getting a new game from these people. And yes, I do have an ever-expanding library from Epic Games. Including the games that I'm playing on Twitch right now. Go follow me at Damian 20 on Twitch. Come follow me. It's in the description down below. Please come and support me. Please. Thank you. Anyway, let's get to the actual numbers here. Various documents have been coming out from the ongoing Apple versus Epic legal case in the state of California, and here's a full rundown of the core of Apple's pretty decent defense. As part of this, Apple's lawyers executed what one can only call a drive-by on the Epic Game Store, which Epic's lawyers has been claiming was comparable to the App Store. That was a funny way of putting that. That was not what I was expecting to read. Oh, God. Anyway, this is coming off. This is what the lawyer had said. Epic Game Store is unprofitable and not comparable to the App Store. The lawyers began rather bluntly and will not be profitable for at least multiple years, if ever. Ouch. Yeah, that's a burn right there, if I've ever seen one. But what's interesting is the Apple's legal eagles go on to break down just how unprofitable the Epic Game Store is. Well, this is not technically about the Apple versus Epic case. Actually, to be honest, I could be lying. Sorry. Didn't expect that. It didn't even say anything about Apple, but until now. Anyway. Epic lost around $181 million in EGS in 2019. Epic projected to lose around $273 million on EGS. in 2021. The EGS Epic Game Store, if you guys don't know. Indeed, Epic committed $444 million in minimum guarantees for 2020 alone, while projected even with significant growth. Only $401 million in revenue for the year. Epic acknowledges that trend will continue in the immediate future. Epic projects to lose around $139 million in 2021. If we take the lower figures, that adds up to an investment on Epic's part of $493 million since 2019, and Epic itself has acknowledged that unrecouped costs will amount to at least $330 million. At best, Epic does not expect EGS to have a cumulative gross profit before 2027. Of course, this all needs to be taken in the context of what Epic is trying to do with the Epic Game Store, and the fact that Epic is an enormously profitable company in other respects. It can afford to write off these eye-watering sums as an investment in the future, and if it all works out, the Epic Game Store will become a key player in the game, in game distribution, and highly profitable. Part of Epic's case against Apple is that it wants the ability to have a Epic Game Store on iOS, and the other reason it keeps bringing the store up is that Epic's commission rate on the store is 12%. This is rather nearly countered by the observation that, well, iOS and the Epic Game Store are two entirely different things. While Epic's commission is lower than Apple's, it does not offer all the services that Apple provides. EGS is essentially a storefront. It lacks the integrated features that make the App Store a desirable platform for consumers and developers. Okay. The Apple works end by pointing out that Epic's basic. Oh God. It is 3 a.m., so bear in mind that I'm trying to read when I've been staring at a screen for hours editing. So, bear with me. The fact that Epic is normally profitable, blah 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 blah. The part of Epic's case against Apple, that blah 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 blah. While Epic's commission is lower than Apple's, it does not offer all the services that Apple provides. EGS is essentially a storefront. The Apple wonks end by pointing out that Epic's basis for claiming exclusionary conduct from Apple is that the iOS store was not designed to host other stores, which I mean, of course it was. Epic's allegations thus depend on the notion that Apple's design and implementation of its own intellectual property can constitute exclusionary conduct. That theory fails as a matter of law. The Epic Game Store does not seem to inspire venom from some, sure, but it's actually not bad these days, and it's hard to argue with the constant free games, which are undoubtedly a huge element that sunk cost. Only one of them made it profit, apparently. Either way, you can say one thing about that $500 million: Epic can afford it. Which, yeah, they absolutely 100% can. Epic, I think that Apple is just sitting there and sitting pretty, in all honesty. I don't think that Epic is doing too badly in just the realm of it alone. That's just personally what I think. Epic is just one of those companies that can afford to make these costly cuts and lose that amount of money, because that is an investment in the future regardless of what we think. So personally, do I think this is like a big move on Apple's part? On Epic's part? Absolutely. Do I think that Apple is being a little bit too demeaning toward the Epic Game Store? Yeah. Seeing as fit that, to be honest, you do kind of exclude a bunch of people, especially your rival companies. So, in all honesty, do I think that Epic has a case there? Yeah, I think they do. Apple has been one of those companies who does sit back and kind of, flaunts on their competition. So, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyway, on from one multinational, multi-billion-dollar company to one good game. This is coming from the New York Times, and I just had read it a few minutes ago. And this is coming from the New York Times, and this is written by Kellen Browning. And he writes, a Super Mario Bros. Game sells for $2 million, another record for gaming collectibles. A vintage Super Mario Bros. Video game has sold for $2 million. A collectibles company announced Friday, breaking the record for the most expensive video game sale that was set up just a few weeks ago. And we even covered that, so go ahead and check that out. It was a previous gaming news. Mario with, the dollar signs in front of his eyes. He's at it again. The 1985 game made for Nintendo's original console has never been opened, a rarity for old video games, said Rob Petrozzo, one of the founders of the collectibles site. Rally, an anonymous buyer purchased it, he said. Demand for the collectibles has surged during the pandemic, along with many other forms of investment, as people stuck at home look for ways to spend their money. People have spent millions of dollars for pieces of digital artwork known as non-fungible tokens, like internet memes and video highlights of National Basketball Association players. Physical goods, including old cars and sports cards, have soared in value over the last year too. But video games are still a nascent market, Mr. Petrozzo said. Interest in buying old games has picked up in recent years, but many vintage games have been opened and played, causing them to lose value, he said, and investors are often intimidated from entering an industry they're unfamiliar with. Recently, though, a pair of head-turning sales have jolted interest in the gaming space. A 1987 Legend of Zelda game cartridge that sold for $870,000 in early July was considered a record, until a 1996 Super Mario 64 game went for $1.56 million just days later. I think that we're starting to see the natural progression of what else. What are the things that have appreciated in value from my childhood, that have the nostalgia? I'm not gonna read the rest. I do want to say that I've been in the gaming space for basically my entire life. I started playing games at 2 years old. I know what it means to have a game like this. It's dope. I've played Super Mario 64. I've never beat it, but I've played it. I played Super Mario Brothers. I played it on the NES. I know what it's like to play these games, and I know the worth of these game systems. And believe me, I know what it's worth. And now that games are getting the recognition it deserves, I think people should more invest in gaming too. Let's face it, gaming is a niche market. Well, it's not a niche market, it's a very incredibly wealthy market. It just says people just don't see the value in video games until you really look at it and realize that it's $1 billion companies that own these game systems, game consoles, gaming in general, that make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And the more replayable these games are, the more they stand the test of time, the more these games appreciate in value, and the more they'll trade for eventually. And believe me, for Super Mario 64, correct me if I'm wrong, back when it was selling, I believe it was like $20, $30, if anything $15, and now it just sold for $1.56 million. Then Super Mario Brothers, which comes equipped on newer game consoles that are being re-released for free for the price of the console, just sold for $2 million. And you're gonna sit there and tell me that gaming is not a good hobby to have? I've had a couple people tell me that. Like, gaming, you'll never make it as just playing games. To the game, Tell that to the game that just sold for more than a freaking luxury car. Tell that to that game. Gaming is an appropriate thing, and I feel like it doesn't get the credit it deserves. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly move on. Oh, whoops. Alright. From one game to another that was, which was accidentally put up. This was put up by PCGamer.com. This is written by Evan Lati. And he writes, Elden Ring appears on Steam, out January 20th. Let's read. Elo, in one of the major games of 2022, hath appeared on Steam. We didn't have any indication that Elden Ring would be an Epic exclusive. In fact, looking back at the exciting E3 trailer, you can notice behind all of the decayed monuments and many limbed monsters that the trailer footage ended with a Steam logo sitting beside a garden of other platform emblems. So we knew in June, certainly, that it would be coming to Steam, case closed. Still, in the discontinued era of Epic paying hundreds of millions to secure dozens of timed exclusives, it seemed like a possibility that the Epic Game Store could grab the rights to the biggest game of 2022. The appearance of an official Steam page this week now puts that fully to rest. For Elden Ring's talkative community, the Steam page has been a small milestone, another domino on the path to release, a chance for Elden Ring to climb the most wish-listed charts, where Dying Light 2 New World and Battlefield 2042 sit atop the current podium. That community, and famous for its insatiability, has managed already to playfully defile the Steam page's tags list, tagging the action RPG with terms like dating sim, walking simulator, relaxing, and other sarcastic identifiers, some of which have already been stripped away. It's a kind of christening, really. Tagging Steam games with inaccurate labels is an established tradition at this point. One thing we're still waiting on from Elden Ring are system requirements, which haven't been announced. Sekiro, a From Software game that released on Steam in 2019, had the following recommended system requirements. OS Windows 764-bit, processor Intel Core i5 2500K, AMD Ryzen 5 1400, memory 8 gigabit RAM, graphics and NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970, AMD Radeon RX 570, DirectX and DirectX version 11, network broadband internet connection, storage 25 gigabytes available space, and sound card DirectX 11 compatible. So that's kind of like something that's very close to that. But personally, I've seen a bunch of things that I feel like, was a main takeaway. That certain things were a requirement for a long time. And hopefully Elden Ring's come out with little to no problems, and people can enjoy this really, really good game. I'm personally not into the Elden Ring series. I've seen the Elden Ring series. I've seen it. It's just not my cup of tea. I may eventually try it and, give my thoughtful opinion. But I'm not going to just, sit back and say I don't like it without giving it a try. But I've always said that it's kind of not my, cup of tea. So if it is your cup of tea, then the Steam page is already up. I don't know if it's still up at this point. Hopefully it is, so that you guys can, have your fun and, go and check it out. And possibly the Epic page or the Steam page for it at the moment can be, dissected a little bit more. And yes, I do realize that my game just rewounded back to the beginning. It does that. But personally, I've had a lot of fun here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. I kind of blended this in, but I apologize. It is what it is. The gaming news has been, being quite litigated for the past, year and a half, 2 years since the WWE weekly roundups. The WWE roundups were, you know, put to rest. And I'm still evolving this series as much as I physically can, personally. So I hope everyone has been having just as much fun with this as I have been making them for you. And I hope everyone has been enjoying the Damian Dragon Plays every Wednesday, which I've been playing Resident Evil Village. So go ahead and check that out. I know that some of the game type has already been past it, but I get one game a week. So, you know, give me some slack. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have not yet, go and check me out on Twitch. I'm streamed there every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and Sundays I normally stream on. Wednesdays and Fridays are excluded because I stream on my channel on YouTube. So I would suggest go check me out on both my channels. Go subscribe to me on YouTube. And also come in and follow me on Twitch. And while you're at it, go follow the other guys as well. All their links is down in the description down below as well. They are a lovely bunch of potatoes. And I can guarantee you, you're going to like them if you like me. So personally, go ahead and go check them all out. Anyway, I need to get this up because, and I still haven't slept yet. But the problem is I'm going to make myself some breakfast. And then probably hop on stream around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So hope everyone enjoys that. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you guys have a lovely day. But it's time for us to end off. Good gaming, happy hunting, and I'll see all you Dragonlings back inside the world of the gaming news. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time for some more Damian Dragon action. Peace.